Burt Reynolds is the top box office draw in the country for movies anyway, so naturally any movie he makes is bound to attract a lot of publicity, even if it is not a big success.
Well, we can't tell you much about the success of his latest movie, Sharkey's Machine, because that depends on you, the moviegoer, and you won't be able to see it until tonight when it opens in a theater or drive-in near you, as they
However,
say.
we can tell you quite a bit about the publicity the movie and Burt have generated so far. The world premiere of Sharkey's Machine was just what you'd expect from Hollywood, although it was held not in Hollywood, but here in Atlanta, Georgia.
We were there, and so was our colleague Nancy Keever. Here's her report.
All that jazz. No one's wife, but I love my life and
Held as the biggest entertainment event in Georgia since Gone with the Wind 42 years ago was the premiere of Burt Reynolds' latest movie, Sharkey's Machine. It was a star-studded night in Atlanta where loyal fans braved freezing temperatures to view the festivities and get a glimpse of celebrities arriving at the Fox Theater in limousines and police cars. Among those receiving the red carpet treatment were Isaac Hayes,
We love you, and this is the biggest thing since Gone with the Wind.
Earl Holliman, Jim Nabors,
Go Holly!
Jerry Reed, Brian Keith, Charles Durning, and of course the hero of the evening, Burt Reynolds.
I'm mighty proud to be here and mighty proud to be a Georgian, and I love you all. Thank you.
Attending the 1939 Gone with the Wind premiere were such luminaries as Olivia de Havilland, Carol Lombard, James Stewart, Claudette Colbert, Laurence Olivier, and Atlanta's own Evelyn Keyes. More than 300,000 people jammed the sidewalks to see the parade up Peachtree Street. Creating the most excitement of all were Clark Gable and Vivien Leigh, who became immortalized as Rhett and Scarlett. There are interesting comparisons between the two premieres. Both movies are based on stories written by Atlanta authors, and both authors, Margaret Mitchell and Bill Deal, had been writers for the Atlanta newspaper. In 1939, the governor of Georgia declared a 3-day holiday preceding the premiere, and the mayor of Atlanta closed all schools and public buildings the day of the event. For the premiere of Sharkey's Machine, Governor Busby officially declared the day to be Burt Reynolds Day in Georgia. Each premiere was completely sold out weeks in advance. And then there are the two leading men, Clark Gable and Burt Reynolds. You've been compared to Clark Gable, tough, charming, masculine, sardonic grin. How would you compare your image to Clark Gable?
Well, I don't. I mean, I'm still a huge fan of his, and I think he's wonderful, best. And I don't even think of Clark Gable when I'm in the same breath, day, time, year. I mean, he was, I screen tested for a film with him once, a long, long time ago, and I took one look at him and I said, I'll never be a movie star.
When it comes to the movies themselves, any similarity ends. Gone with the Wind was an epic about the Old South and changes it underwent after the Civil War. Sharkey's Machine is a tough-hitting, action-packed drama portraying drugs, prostitutes, corrupt politicians, murder, and violence.
If there's anybody that hasn't read it, I've apologized 47,000 times. This picture is very realistic. I'll be glad to give you your money right now, but damn it, don't leave once it starts.
The audience loved Burt, but had mixed reactions to his movie.
I thought it was a bit graphic, but it was rated R, and Burt did mention that it would be rather graphic, so we had an option of leaving before it started.
I thought it was great. I enjoyed it.
I thought the movie had a little too much foul language for my particular taste.
What did you think of the movie tonight?
Plenty of blood.
It's true.
I wasn't ready for it.
We loved it. It's
You
great.
said it would be real, and it was.
The most violent movie I've ever seen. I'm not real sure. more violent than The Godfather, 3 times.
I thought it was fantastic, and it's worth seeing again.
Ed Spivey, director of the Georgia Film Office, commented on the movie industry in Georgia, which nationwide ranks 3rd after California and New York in the number of productions done annually.
We're #1 location state in the country. Of course, California and New York will do more film than we do, but they're permanent film centers. As a location, we're #1.
Which of Burt's movies have been made in Georgia?
Well, the first one was Deliverance, then came The Longest Yard, followed by Gator, then Cannonball, Sharkey's Machine, The Longest Yard, and Smoking the Bandit 2. 7 of them.
Why do you enjoy making movies in Georgia?
Well, I love this state. I love the people in this state, and they've been very kind to me. And I think they know how I feel about them, and it's been very reciprocal. And I hope maybe this is a way of tonight is kind of a way of paying them back a little bit for their kindness over the years, and they've been very faithful. And I think this is a good picture. But there's been a couple of films that I've made that I haven't been that proud of, and they've been very supportive in those. And when they go to the well and it's dry and they come back, then they're really friends.
When asked if there was any special significance to calling this a Deliverance Productions film, Burt replied,
Yeah, I took the name because it's the picture that I'm most proud of.
Will Smokey continue to try and outrun the sheriff?
Well, I'm not going to make another Smokey 3, Smokey Goes to College, or anything like that. My feeling is that we did it really well, you know, and I don't think we can do it any better, so I think it's try to go on to something else. I don't think that I've graduated from those films. I don't think that I'm better than those films. I think those films were wonderful, the kind of films they were. I just I'd like to make some other different kind of films.
As to Burt's interest in other types of roles,
Well, I just made a musical called The Best Little Whorehouse in Texas, and I'd be willing to bet my jacket, not yours, that it's a hit.
Sharkey's Machine was the 3rd Reynolds picture where he was both actor and director, which brought up another interesting question. How does Burt Reynolds, the director, deal with Burt Reynolds, the actor?
I had no problem. I slept with him at night, and he still got the part.
This is Nancy Keever, Cable News Network, Atlanta.